Hi! About a year ago, my grandpa gave me this 100-year-old lens that he randomly had lying around. He probably gave me this lens because he knows I like both photography and videography, and I also like obsolete technology. So something like this is right up my alley. I would like to use this lens on one of my modern cameras, so I have to design something to adapt this lens. I will be designing an adapter using a camera body cap. It will be as simple as taking a body cap and making a hole in it. I will be 3D printing it, so I started in Blender. I began by downloading an existing 3D model of a Sony E-mount body cap. I have put a link to this model in the description. Then I measured the diameter of the lens and used those measurements to make a hole in the model. Then I had to slice the model and load it onto the 3D printer. And this is the result. I am very impressed by how well it printed. My previous experience with 3D printing was years ago, and I remember it being very tedious because you had to make sure everything was leveled perfectly, and even then it seemed like a coin toss whether or not my print came out properly. This was an amazing experience with the printer taking care of everything. It was literally as simple as hitting print and walking away. Well, now it's as simple as putting the lens into the adapter. Even with just a friction fit, it stays in place. But to make it truly sturdy, I will have to use some glue. I am using hot glue, so this will be totally reversible. Now the lens easily mounts to my Sony a6400. And now the time has come to test it out and see this lens in action for the first time in decades. This is video shot on a 100-year-old lens. It turns out that this lens gives a very unique vintage look to my pictures and videos. It might not be the most versatile because of its very narrow focus window. The only explanation I have for this is that this lens was made for portraits and not much else. Overall, I'm very pleased with how this project turned out. It is always cool to find a new use for things that otherwise will just sit around. Thank you for watching this video.